Welcome back to Broncos Country Tonight, joined by Solomon Wilcots, who is one of the analysts there at Pro Football Focus. Solly, how you doing, man?
Ryan, Ben, I'm doing great, and it's good to be on with you guys today.
We absolutely appreciate it, and I know the Broncos fans appreciated last week when you talked about Drew Lock being one of your breakout players. And listen, it's been a little bit of a mixed bag sometimes in the media about whether people see a future star for the Broncos or they see a guy that really only played 5 games, and the Broncos are maybe making a bit of a misstep here going all in on him. But you really like Drew Lock, and you like what he could bring to this team.
Yeah, and I love the way that the Broncos handled him during his rookie campaign. You don't want to push young players in there too soon. I think you want to allow them to at least get 1 month of that first season under their belt by just watching maybe a veteran quarterback like he did 1 year ago, watching Joe Flacco. But, you know, in the second half of the season, they say, okay, let's see what you got. And I think he showed us that the game wasn't too big for him. He made some plays. And more importantly, I think he avoided the disastrous or egregious plays. Didn't have a lot of turnovers, found a way to get the ball into the end zone. And now with a full offseason under his belt and the new talent and the weapons that you put around him, a trio of running backs, some talented wide receivers. One thing that we know Drew Lock does very well, he can push the ball down the field very accurately. He's very confident when attacking defenses and getting the ball down the field vertically. And they have the players around him to help get that done. So I can envision him playing above maybe what most people expect in year number 2.
Now, Ben agrees with you. He's on the committee to build the statue outside the stadium. So he's already there with you as far as Drew Lock goes. But Benjamin, I mean, I think it has to be pointed out here that you're not getting the full reps in OTAs. And getting the timing down with those receivers is going to be a bit of a challenge, isn't it?
Well, yeah, the communication, knowing where these guys are and getting everything down, the timing, it's a vital part of that. You can only get so much out of VR. You know, you can only get so much out of that. You need those live reps. You need to see what defenses are throwing at you because he doesn't have as many reps out there as maybe some of these other guys that he passed that's identifying what these defensive coordinators are trying to do. And so I think that having live practice is inherently valuable from that perspective. You get all the things that you can't get out of a book. It's just like living life. You can't get everything out of the book.
So, Solly, then coming back to that, it's a young offense. So you said all those great things, and it's a young quarterback, but it's a very young offense. You got some new receiving weapons, the ones that you pointed out there on that video with Pro Football Focus. So it's going to be tough getting some timing down with these guys, isn't it? Are you a little concerned about that?
Yeah, I think anyone who would say that, hey, we're going to do the best that we can, we're going to get the work done virtually, you know, they're being very optimistic, and rightfully so. But there's a reason why we practice. There's a reason why you go out on the field, because that time is so very important. That time together, working out the kinks, developing the timing and rhythm, the communication process and things that you need to do to be able to adjust on the fly. Some of that's going to be lost. Let's face it. Even the veteran players who are coming in from other teams, like on the offensive line and trying to integrate into this locker room, I think there's going to be a growth period all around this league. And the teams that can adjust the best in terms of coaching, in terms of communication, in terms of chemistry, those are the teams who are going to be able to weather the storm in the month of September. Even the great Bill Belichick will tell you. I'll tell you what my team is really about as we head into the month of November and December. And that's under normal circumstances. So certainly it applies coming into 2020.
Now, Ben, what will have to happen in order for people to kind of have some trust in this offense?
Well, they did improve. You know, moving on from Ron Leary and getting Graham Glasgow, I think, is a significant improvement. We'll see if the center position is an improvement with Cushenberry, whoever wins that job, versus Connor McGovern. But I do think that the line is very much improved. You're going to get Juwan James back as well. You know, we'll see how long he can stay healthy. In terms of proving that they deserve that, I think it's just going to take time. Going out there and seeing if this line and if this quarterback is able to make this line look like he did down the stretch in those final 5 games. Only 5 sacks taken over those 5 games. And that was with a patchwork line. You guys like Schlotman and Jake Rogers playing significant snaps in that stretch. So, you know, I think this line is better than people think it is. I think people have seen one too many Garrett Bowles holding penalty calls, and they just kind of blame everything on that.
Yeah, well, and again, it kind of comes back to your optimism about Drew Lock. You know, you got to factor in that offensive line play, and I'm assuming you did. So.
Oh, absolutely. I love the collection of players that you have there. Now, here's what you need to know about offensive line, because we could talk about the chemistry between the quarterback and the receivers. No group needs greater chemistry than the offensive line. You're talking about 5 different guys who have to do a lot of work, a lot of communication before the ball is even snapped. And then what you're going to get from defenses when they run those stunts and they run the twists, and you have to be able to pass players off and communicate intuitively and know when to come off a block because another guy is coming around. He's going to come free. I have to be responsible picking that player up. The offensive line, I'm telling you right now, you throw 5 new guys in together, it's just going to take time, and you have to be able to weather the storm. The one thing what you have here is you have veteran players. Yeah, you have a rookie in the middle of it, but you're going to just have to be able to communicate and weather the storm. And then the quarterback can help too, right? If you get the ball out quick, I think we saw that in the Super Bowl, no matter how good the opposing defensive line is, they can't hit you if you're not holding the football if you're the quarterback. So rule number 1, quick up-tempo passing game early to kind of help that offensive line.
Yeah, that seems like one of the best things that Drew Lock can do. And in fact, we saw that, Ben, last year. You saw Drew Lock with escapability, and you saw him getting the ball out fast. So you'd almost want to see him continue to improve on those, including improving on his footwork.
Well, that's the hallmark of the great quarterbacks. You go back and look, Tom Brady gets it out quick. Peyton Manning got it out quick. And that prolongs your career, gives you longevity. You're going to take fewer hits. You're going to get, gains every time, and that's going to move the chains and keep the offense on schedule. So, I think getting, like Solly said, getting the ball out quick is the quarterback's best friend. The second best friend is being able to run the ball downhill. Get the 5 guys might be known for burgers and fries, but I want my 5 guys known for setting pancakes.
Last thing here for you, Solly. What would prohibit the Broncos, or more specifically Drew Lock, in this conversation we're having from having the breakout season that you're expecting?
I think getting hit early and getting hit often in the early part of the season during the month of September. You got some really good teams on this schedule coming in. Think about it. Tennessee, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Buccaneers had by far the best pass rushing defensive line in the National Football League 1 year ago. Many people aren't talking about it. I know we're talking about Tom Brady. We're talking about Gronk and what that offense is going to look like, and rightfully so. But the likes of Ndamukong Suh, and Shaq Barrett, who you guys know all too well, okay, in Denver, these guys can get after your quarterback. And so I think it's going to be key to just keeping clean early and allow him to grow comfortable. Drew Lock is a confident young man. You guys know it probably better than I do. I love the fact that he reached out to the receivers early. He's excited about the season. Players generally will get much better from year 1 to year 2. And he seems like he's growing in all the right ways that you want to see it. He's ready to lead this football team. Now he's just got to keep him clean early so that confidence can solidify itself. And I think you'll see him blossom from there.